Well, hello everybody, and so we've done the Mega Drive, Sega CD, and SNES version of Terminator 2, but there's some other older Terminator games that we haven't done yet. Yes.
Stop!
Hey, look at Radical Entertainment!
Wait, Radical Entertainment?
Radical?
Wait, Radical Entertainment made
My
this?
God,
Find your way to the Skynet base
annoying.
to travel back to 1984.
Oh, now it's much better. No,
Wait, what just happened? Oh wait, let me
It
get
was
some
a demo.
It was a demo.
okay, that's the thing. The actual in-level music is very uncreative, but at least it's tolerable. But that title music is, my God, it's raping my ears.
Ear raping, isn't it? I don't know about you guys, but so far on the sound design, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
Be kind of reason.
I mean, seriously, I can do this on GarageBand. You know, I'm going to do it now, actually.
Jova, question. Jova, but before I even start, Jova, as a musician and a lover of video game music in general, just how much does this thing offend you already from the beginning?
I don't know what you're talking about, Pedro. My ears definitely needed that sedative.
Yeah.
Wait, Jova, you're a musician?
Okay. Here's what I think happened. The guy was bored at his piano.
Sorry.
I got a theory. The guy was bored at his piano, so he just did this.
Let me explain. Basically, I have here are the cheats that I have: infinite grenades, infinite elf, and a moon jump. God, yeah, because the knockback damage, as you can see, sometimes screws you over.
Quality Castlevania knockback.
Oh, whenever you die, you literally go back to that godforsaken opening.
You see, Teo, if you play this game, make sure you don't die, otherwise we'll rape your ears.
I'm motivated by that as well.
So who actually did this game?
Radical Entertainment, we already saw.
But it's the same Radical Entertainment?
Yes. Yep, Teo, Radical Entertainment. This is one of their first games, apparently.
I mean, humble beginnings, I suppose.
Yeah, if it's any consolation, they got better with stuff like, Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
And Scarface, the world is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were some crap stuff like the Crash Bandicoot games, but we don't like to talk about that.
And Hulk 2003.
Oh, right, I keep forgetting they did. Okay, Hulk 2003 wasn't
crap.
I'd say.
Yeah, Hulk 2003 was kind of the prototype for Ultimate Destruction, Jova,
which in turn was also the prototype for the Incredible Hulk 2008.
Incredible Hulk 2008 was just a poor man's Hulk Ultimate Destruction. With
the Terminator just jumped into a pit.
No, to be fair,
the latest in Skynet technology.
To be fair, he fell on the precipice.
Okay, so here's what I think happened. Basically, they do those video diaries sometimes of them making the game. And when they got to the compose of it, there was just some guy sitting on his chair and was like, crap, I've only got an hour to do the music.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Also, you noticed that some parts of the background you can actually jump upon, but others you can't.
Okay.
The hit detection for the actual ledges in this game is awful.
Okay.
Also, it's a bit weird though. The health bar, your actual
What?
health is black. Not
I literally fell through I literally fell through the platform. So let me try and turn off the moon jump. See if maybe that's what's screwing me over.
Possibly. So yeah, folks, let's just get one thing out of the way. This game isn't very good.
That's what
You don't say.
Trust me, everybody. If you're trying to play this game fairly, as you saw in the AVGN review, for those who haven't seen it, go see it. It's a great review. Trust me, this game is horrible and painful to play, and flat out full of cheap stuff, and makes it nearly impossible to beat it fairly because of how poorly designed it is.
The game is also designed to have a very limited number of lives system. As James proved in his review, even if you stop there and start grinding, you can't exceed more than 9.
6 too. 6.
early models of our Terminators weren't very smart. We can't even get Austrian accents properly.
Okay, so allow me to go ahead.
Don't you just love that 8-bit Arnold Schwarzenegger? Doesn't look a damn thing like him.
No, I don't think it's supposed to be the T600, Jova. I think much like the Mega Drive game did, maybe. But then again, I'm probably giving this game too much credit by saying that. Anyway.
But it was the T800.
Well, remember, Dwebs, there's a brief moment in Terminator 1 where Kylus talks about the 600 series, which are the ones that actually typically chase them, whereas the 800 series was...
the 800 series is the one that has the camouflage of the human skin.
Yeah. There you go! See? Did you see that? Hold on, Dwebs. See? If you join the platforms will carry you to your fucking doom!
Anyway, I think... as for this music track, I think I can. I think I know how the composing process for this went.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I've had this entire video on mute the whole time, so I'm for the safety of my ears.
Anyway, I'm gonna give them something of the benefit of the doubt here. I do feel like it's one of those cases where the composition would have made sense, but it needed to have better instrumentation. Like, for example, T. Lopez, that guy who you may recall.
I thought it's T. Lopes.
Is that the correct pronunciation is technically T. Lopes, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah, he actually managed to make the Resident Evil basement theme from the director's cut of Resident Evil 1. Yes, that basement theme actually work. Want to know how he did it? By changing the instrumentation. Like he still.
I thought you were going to say by not pretending to be.
Hold on. We're shooting. We're shooting guns who fire on their own.
I guess they're supposed to be turrets, but are poorly rendered.
Whatever.
Also, again,
they don't even look like guns. They look like turtles.
Also, again, is your player character supposed to be Kyle Reese?
Yes.
Barely looks like it.
Well, gee. But anyway, let me explain what the hell is happening here. First of all, the jumping controls. The jumping controls in this game are horrible. If you want to jump with any good amount of momentum, you have to first walk a bit. If you try to jump from a small platform, you're basically fucked. Because your jump will be so gimp that you can barely steer yourself. And now vehicle section. Okay, as those who saw the AVGN review, Matt, remember how he died a lot in this section.
Because the HK is relentless.
Not just that, Tail. You have no way of defending yourself, basically. The only way you can attack him is by putting yourself directly in the line of fire. So basically, it's literally impossible to attack the enemy without getting hurt in return. Basically,
unless you master the reflexes needed.
I have to say, you did a good job at that.
I didn't. I'm using cheats. So, okay, fine. Trust me, Deji. Playing this game fairly is not worth it. The game is terribly designed.
Now spikes.
Anyway, okay. Like James Rolfe said in his review of this game. The key to this particular section is you have to aim at the platforms. You don't land on your feet. You land in the empty space in between your feet, like that. See?
Has anyone else wanted to note that Kyle Reese literally is Shaggy in this game?
Yeah.
Row.
No, he looks like that Chad in the Chad version.
I mean, Jova, it makes sense because in the Terminator universe, dogs can detect when a T-800, is an actual... person is a T-800 in disguise, so that's the perfect partnership.
No, seriously, it looks like the Chad and the Chad version meme.
Not enough.
Too skinny for that.
It's the jumping animation, the position.
Not enough of a big dick.
Another big problem with this game, by the way, the gun controls. When you press when you press the gun button, you don't just shoot like you would in, say, Contra. Instead, you crouch. And as long as you hold the shooting button, you'll just stay shooting and you use the D-pad to aim your shooting. Why not just do it like in Contra? Like, whatever. Fuck it, I just gave up and just moon jump my way out of that because the platforming in this game is so bad.
Yeah, Oh yeah. Let's talk about the platforming here.
No,
The platforming in this game is, well, it encompasses the worst aspects of platforming. Also, now he's changed to a boss suit.
Not just
Like, okay,
well,
I know-
remember it's supposed to be the outfit from the movie, but it doesn't look anything like it.
It looks like a fancy suit in this version, but okay, so here's the thing. The way the platforming works is like, well, you have to position yourself exactly right. If you get on the ledge, sorry, you're going down. Even
Yes.
though by platforming logic, you should be able to be considered safe in there. And sometimes you will inexplicably phase through the platforms too.
Okay, now you have no gun, so you have to punch your way through the enemies.
Yay.
Remember the part in the movie where Carl Reese went around punching everybody he sees?
Including the dogs
yeah.
for some reason.
And we even have to punch the dogs. Here's the problem. The dogs are shorter than us, meaning we have to wait for the dog to jump to be able to punch and hurt it. Again, isn't this game so beautifully designed? Seriously, radical. Did you even playtest your game while you were making it?
Probably not.
I got a question actually.
Yes.
On
on.
the subject of the music again.
Go
Where's
ahead.
the Terminator theme?
There is no Terminator theme. Remember we established in our earlier Terminator commentaries that apparently Virgin was the only one that actually bothered to cough out the dope to pay for royalties for using that theme.
So the Virgin is better than the Chad. Gotcha.
No, Virgin is the one that published the Terminator Sega CD game, and they also published the Aladdin Genesis game. They were one of the best third-party
I know.
publishers at the time.
Are they still around or?
No, they're not. No, they're not. Sadly not. They were basically, when it comes to tie-in games of the time, they were regarded as the golden standard at the time. Not just because they had David Perry, of course, and he was at the time the one that actually gave a crap about making licensed games good. They also had some good studios under their belt, like Westwood Studios, who made the Lion King game, which was pretty good as well. Okay, so the idea now is that we're supposed to find Sarah Connor.
Going back to what I was talking about earlier with the music here and there, I feel like the composition isn't inherently bad. The problem is that the instrumentation that they chose to go with is terrible. Like with different instruments, and trust me, the NES did have technically more sounds you could use. With better instruments used, these tunes could have come out sounding better. It's like I said, it's like how T. Lopes managed to make the basement theme from Resident Evil 1, the director's cut, actually bearable and actually creepy. You know, instead of using those godforsaken trumpets and horns, he uses a piano to go with it. Well, a piano and some other synths, yeah.
Another thing about the post stage 1 is how you can press select to change your method of attack. Punch, kick, or in this case of this particular level, throw a ball. And at first I was thinking, okay, the ball must be for the dog, because video game logic, I guess. But I tried throwing a ball at the dog, and it didn't do jack, as you're about to see. There you go, see? I'm trying my best to see if the ball does something. Nope. So what the fuck is the point of this thing?
Instead, the dog just seems to really like riding your rear end.
Yes. Alright, punch!
And attacking your penis, too.
Yes, of course. If you see policemen and police dogs coming towards you, punch the fuck out of them.
I remember that bit in the movie where a weird dog was humping Kyle Reese's ass.
Wow,
It was the Josh Wheaton.
This is the prototype. When you think of bad when you think of bad movie tie-in license games, this is one of the worst ones. Like it doesn't.
It's like this is Back to the Future on the end.
It only tangentially has something to do with the movie.
I love how he looks like he's supposed to be climbing up what are the escalator stairs. Really, dudes? You would have been better off just having him face that way as opposed to him climbing up escalators like they're a ladder.
Here's the three primary issues. Number one, when it comes to its source material, and when it comes to adapting its source material, this game only does the bare minimum. Like it has those screenshots of Arnold, and it has one they're gonna have later one of Sarah, and it follows technically the levels from the story of the movie, but that's about it. Second problem, it's terribly designed. It clearly was made in like 2 weeks. and I'm still convinced that there was no beta testing made in this game because there's no way a playtester would play this and give the thumbs up to this thing. Third one, it looks like dog piss. Like seriously, look at this game. This game looks so butt ugly to look at.
Don't get me wrong. I get that the NES was not the prettiest in the graphics department, but come
The NES had Ninja Gaiden in it. Like, seriously, the cutscenes of Ninja Gaiden look so amazing, even today. Just on cinematography. Fuck off.
It's also, it's also baffling the fact that these, despite being this terrible, wasn't even attached to what was the king champion back then of bad licensed games, LJN. So
no, instead, this game was.
LGN would have their own run with the Terminator.
Don't worry, Tail. I have one of those for the next game.
What? Wait, we're fighting Roman gladiators now?
Yes.
No, those are punk rockers.
They're supposed to be the enemy of this game's version of those punks at the beginning of the movie. I'm assuming.
Which
They look
Kylie's
like
never
gladiators.
faced.
Hey, I don't know. This game, barely anything in this game is well designed from a visual standpoint.
Anyways, I was gonna say, hey Jervin, do you remember that bit of the movie where Kyle Reese was running around on rooftops and ledges punching police officers?
Oh yeah, totally.
Wasn't that like what Sonic was doing in Spagonia?
It was right next. It's my favorite scene in all of fiction. Right next to that bit in Back to the Future where Marty ran around collecting clocks.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, you're going to.
Don't worry, Teo, because right after this we have Terminator 2 published by LJN. The interesting thing is that I still don't know who developed that game. And maybe it was LJN themselves. Oh, was it Sunsoft? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a shame because Sunsoft usually has a better catalog than that, but whatever. The point is, this game was published by Mindscape. They're not around anymore.
Oh, well, apparently, from what I've seen, it might be a thing that it was published in some countries, but apparently Bethesda was also involved in publishing in some places this one.
From what I can tell, Teo, when it comes to Terminator 1, Virgin got the...
Sarah, but the Terminator's in hot pursuit, so okay.
Oh no, the driving controls, I forgot about these.
Well, okay, are you familiar with the driving sections of this game, too?
I tried it once out of curiosity for emulation, and even with cheats, I quit at this point. It's like, this is just sick-inducing.
Well, fortunately, I'm an insane, stubborn motherfucker, so I didn't quit. Anyway,
the cheats probably helped as well.
Obviously. Well, Teo said you cheat as well. So.
Like I said, I'm also stubborn on my own when it comes to stuff like, say, an RPG super boss. But if there's something that I can detest, it's when a game is actually making me feel sick out of it because motion sick, and this is one case. Oh,
basically,
God.
Audience, if you are taken to the police station, find Sarah fast.
Yes,
okay,
basically.
It's not apparent now, but okay. And mind you,
I don't remember the police station being on fucking fire.
Well, this is supposed to be during the Terminator's attack, Dwebs.
Also, on top, apparently there's a wanted poster with Homer Simpson, Minnie Mouse, and Jason Voorhees.
Again, I'm assuming this is during the moment that Arnold is storming the police station.
Yeah, but I don't remember whole rooms being on fire.
Okay. You know what I loved? In the Sega CD version of this game, where the police station has legit the most upbeat tune in that game, and it's not even a bad track, but it's so upbeat for what's supposed to be a tense and chilling scene from the movie.
It's like we've mentioned, Jova. Remember, Jova, Tommy loves his upbeat tunes. It's like Teo said in his final thoughts of that commentary. Yeah, the song. It's like we've all pretty much agreed when it comes to the music of that game. Tommy's music in Terminator Sega CD is technically unfitting, but who the hell even cares? It's glorious music,
Oh yeah, that it is.
Whereas this is literally came out of the composer's anus.
Yeah, and it's a thing. I tried searching all over the place. I can't find for the mail for me who the composer is.
Speaking of which, that's a good point. Where is the music in this one? Oh wait, that's right. It's there, but I can barely hear it because it's pitched so goddamn high.
Yes.
Seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if only dogs can make out the music here. Wait, maybe that's it. Maybe this game was made
Now
for
call
dogs.
Reese explode. I must go now. My planet needs me.
Here's what.
Aw, Pedro, you didn't take the stair mechanic. That would have been fun to see you do.
That's the thing, Jova. I swear for the life of me, I couldn't find the place for the stairs. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but whatever. We're almost done. The point is, here's what I'm guessing to. My guess is what happened is Virgin got the rights to publish Terminator 1 games on the Sega consoles, and their Mega Drive and Sega CD games. Whereas Mindscape probably got the same license but for Nintendo consoles because they published this one and they also published the Super Nintendo game of Terminator 1. So I'm guessing it literally was one of those cases. It was kind of similar to how Virgin did what Disney considers the official tie-in game, but Capcom was still able to publish their Aladdin game because they still had a contract that allowed them to publish Disney games on SNES, basically. Yeah, fighting for the enemies like this, I swear to you guys, I couldn't for the life of me find a gun. Like, as far as I can tell, we're just supposed to punch our way for the rest of the game, it seems.
Yeah, like a real man.
Except, a real man going up against a steel monstrosity that can kill you by... You found me! Now let's get out of here before he comes! Yeah, sudden narration from Sarah Connor.
Well, I think it was just. I think it was.
Here we go.
Well, I think it was just supposed to be a straight line of dialogue, not narration. But
I know that it's just like every other narration has been done like in the second person.
Okay.
By the way, the driving controls in these stages suck balls.
The driving stage of these games.
Yes, not just
The
that.
second one, dude.
He was burped. But anyway, I find it interesting how, first of all, here's how the shooting controls of these cars work. You press B to shoot left and A to shoot right, which I can understand the logic behind it. But did you have to make the driving controls so nonsensical? Seriously, I swear to you, I'm not driving this way on purpose. The controls in this drive. What is the Terminator games on Nintendo consoles and nonsensical driving controls?
I'll quote this scene from the movie. Sarah, I'm sorry. This steering wheel won't work. Damn it! I'm trying to tell you about how the Terminators worked, but this bloody car won't stay.
You see what I mean in terms of motion sickness? So this is awful.
It's not helped by the fact that the road zigzags like, a snake.
Fortunately, I don't get motion sick easily.
I'd rather be playing WarioWare.
Who designed the city street?
I don't even know, too.
Texas.
You made it to the factory. Oh, and suddenly we see the factory now.
Yes. Okay, I will give it credit. The driving controls are still better than the Super Nintendo game that we did last time. Fuck off! Like, why can't I use a gun? The Virgin games gave me a gun. Like,
you technically had a gun for the first level.
You'd think?
What? You jumped in midair.
That's because I'm using cheats, dude. I've already established this. Come on, try to keep up.
I thought that was like a secret gameplay mechanic.
No, he's not the scout from Team Fortress 2.
Also, Pedro, I have a hard time. Pedro, I've got a hard time keeping up with the game, considering all its nauseating graphics and irritating music.
I mean, you can do what I did and just lower the volume.
Anyway,
but how can I complain about the music if I don't hear it?
All right. Let's.
Because you've heard enough, so you're already getting the general.
Well. How about this, Dej? I'll simulate the experience. There you go.
Anyway,
So am I playing Wheel of Fortune or?
Hold on, yes, Jova.
Thank you, T.O. So this music track is literally the same one used in the police station.
Maybe
Why?
Because the composer probably got to this one. Fuck it, it's the last level. At this point, people are gonna be so sick of the game. Let's just not even bother.
Oh, it's only one part?
Yep. We're almost done.
Yes.
No, that's the thing, Dej. This is one of those games, Dej, where the game is short as fuck. However, they make it as hard as possible and as cheap as possible to make sure you die a lot and keep repeating from the beginning over and over.
So they can scam kids into getting their parents to constantly run the game.
Yes. This
much.
was back in the day where the internet wasn't a thing.
Oh, God. Can you
And
imagine
so
paying
it's like James Rove said, Jova. Back in these days, you just bought a game, you just hope for the best.
It was kind of the Wild West.
I mean, yeah, it kind of was like that up until I'm gonna say
Until the internet, until the
Okay.
internet came about, basically.
Okay, there was a viable alternative in the form of strategy guides and Game Genie, obviously, but unless you experimented or knew what you were doing, it was still like a crapshoot.
Well, strategy guys never really told you whether or not a game was good. They just helped you out.
Okay.
Then Kyle Reese was squished like a pancake, and that was Terminator.
Okay, basically this is the point where I officially get tired of this game, so I'm just going to blow through it and just... Here's what you're supposed to do.
Arnold.
Here's what you're supposed to do, actually. You're supposed to attract a Terminator into there. How? Allow me. Basically, you first need to go up the stairs. Yes. I was trying to see if I could punch the thing, but it doesn't work. Move on. Alright, so you have to go here. You press that, so he will chase you. Now you have to try your best to attract him into the thing.
Almost unlocked.
Fuck this game. Alright, and... Seriously, what does this yellow box thing that I picked up do? As far as I can tell, it does absolutely nothing.
I think it hurts enemies if you throw it at them.
I don't even care, because we're done.
There we go.
Congratulations, you have saved Sarah Connor and terminated the T-101. Good work, soldier.
Wait,
Much like in the...
T-101, it's the T-800,
It's
not the T-101.
Hang on.
And that's it. There's no ending or credits. We just go back to the title screen.
Also, guess what, guys? Once again, just like in the
Kyle
Sega
Reese
CD
survives in
version,
this version.
yeah, Kyle Reese survives. But yeah, seriously, it was the T-101. So wait, no, it's supposed
Fuck
to be
you,
the
Chris
T-800.
Robertson.
I actually wonder, Jova, if the gaming companies had only a draft of what the movie was about and didn't know that Kyle Reese died at the end.
This definitely feels like.
Well,
it,
actually,
but
Teo.
apparently-
Well, actually, no, Teo, because remember, this game was made in 1980. This game was made after the NES came out in the America, which is 85, which was 1 year after the movie came out. So by this point, the movie was already out.
Oh,
So
they have
was
no
it like a
excuse.
collective thing? The video game industry was pissed at the fact that
Not to,
Kyle Reese died at the end. or
not to
something?
mention, Teo, the Mega Drive game came out in 91, way at the same time that the first... so the second movie came out, sorry. So, no, they don't have that excuse, not really.
Weird.
what you're saying is that essentially they botched up the plot and everything. Like they couldn't even get the name of the killer robot
Not just
right.
not just that, like, okay. Maybe, Teo, what, they don't want you to have the dissatisfaction of your main character dying at the end. Maybe that was the idea. I don't know.
I guess.
But anyway,
Again,
I love how
I'm
the
wondering
credits...
why they ca-
I love how there's no ending or credits. Instead, the only credits that they are at the beginning, and they only credit the four producers and the executive producer, the actual people that made the bloody game, are not credited. So as far as I can tell, this game came out of the producers' assholes, basically.
That would explain a lot.
Okay, so that was the first Terminator game for the NES. Dwibs, I know you're aching to get your thoughts on this 8-bit masterpiece. Go ahead.
Okay, there's a lot of things wrong with this. The graphics, by the standards of an NES game, especially since apparently it came out in 1992.
Oh wait, this game came out in 92?
I think.
Let me
No,
double.
no,
Let me double check. Go ahead, continue.
I think. Well, whenever it came out, it doesn't even matter. The graphics look terrible. The music is just this annoying. I can't even call it music. It's just a bunch of noise. Be it either the terrible main theme, the boring theme for the first level.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts to not like it in terms of the music. I mean, and also wait, save Sarah Connor. Where was she then?
She showed up in that one screen.
Yeah, I said, "Oh, save me" or something.
Oh, here you go.
The only thing I can think of is that she's invisible.
Holy crap, Dibs is right. Here you go. A Terminator game for the NES platform has been in development since 1989. Sunsoft's game, Journey to Silius, was originally conceived as a game based on the original film. The license expired.
I'm all about that.
The license expired during production, and the final game altered its graphics and created its own storyline. An NES game was eventually developed and released in December 1992. So this game came out in December 1992. Who the hell was still buying games for the NES at the time?
Not only that, but this looks like one of the worst NES games. Like, come on.
You'll love this, Jova. Developed by Radical Entertainment and published by both Mindscape and Bethesda. Just like the Mega Drive game was half published by Bethesda. Go ahead, Dwips.
And to finish off, the gameplay itself looks terrible. If it's either. It's either you're not able to shoot enemies properly, or you have terrible driving sections, or you've got terrible platforming. I mean, there's nothing you can really have fun with here. And I mean, why even release a Terminator game based on the first movie, and it coming out on the NES in 1992? I mean, by then, T2 had been out for over a year.
To be fair, I can see why there would be hype amongst anything Terminator, because the franchise was very hot. So I could definitely get them doing that, but they should have still done better.
Well, yeah. Well, any better, really.
I mean, let's not forget, Dwibs, there is the Sega CD version of Terminator, which came out around this time as well.
Yeah, but this is the NES.
Yeah. It's a thing companies do, especially when there's a transitional phase between consoles here and there. In case the successor console isn't that big a hit, let's still give stuff on the old ones. But here's the thing. A swan song game that's released this late into a console's life should look better. I've seen way better looking NES games that were made near the console's infancy than this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It's terrible. The only positive is that it's
Okay, so Deji, what do you think of the game?
Wait, who left? Oh, okay. It looks like your typical run-of-the-mill NES license game. That of course it's going to be bad.
Oh God, what was that other license one I'm thinking of?
I had no expectations. I knew it probably wasn't going to be good, so it's like, okay. So Pedro, I'm sorry that you have to sit through this.
Well, I made my own choice, so you don't have to feel sorry about anything.
All right, I'm done.
All right,
anyway,
go ahead, Jova.
This game is terrible. I'd rather be watching Shaolin Soccer than playing this game. Oh, you've seen that movie?
I'd rather be watching Shaolin Showdown.
I've heard of it. You just carry on.
Oh, God. It looks terrible, plays terrible, sounds terrible, probably smells terrible, too, if they did that same trick that Nintendo did with the Mother series. No, seriously, they legit did make stuff smell bad in the magazines for the advertising of Earthbound.
Check AVGN's video on Nintendo Power if you want to know more.
Kind of bit that game sales in the ass, but whatevs. But yeah, this game, every corner of it is just bad. And for something released in 1992, holy cow.
In fact, let me see if this is Radical Entertainment's first game. Carry on.
Talk about from rags to riches for Radical Entertainment. Well, I guess technically from rags to riches to death as of the time of this recording. But, what you gonna do? Well, I'll tell you what you're gonna do.
This was
do better than this.
This was their second game. The first game was a licensed game of The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, I know that one. I can tell you that one sucks too.
Well, there you go then.
Ooh,
and they also made Mario is Missing on the NES.
So let me get this straight. Radical Entertainment went from making crap licensed games to good licensed games.
Well, that's not the first time. I mean, even nowadays, this kind of stuff is happening. Remember, Asobo Studio recently went from being B-tier Disney licensed games where high impact games would make the console ones, whereas the Zobus would make the handheld ones, and they recently transitioned to making Plague Tale and now Microsoft's Flight Simulator. So even today we have studios like these fortunately managing to get out of the licensed game hell, basically.
I mean, look, I'll just say this. Licensed games do not have to be hell. The problem is, like, well, it's either a case of bad development time, but in this case, I'm going to chalk it up to just the devs being crap, because they had the plot of the original Terminator well out there and in the public. They had the scenario. There's no excuse to this game turning out as bad as it did, unless they were given, like, a minuscule amount of time to work on it. And even still, I wouldn't even see the point, because the original Terminator movie is already out. Like, maybe they were trying to release this to coincide with the release of Terminator 2. Oh, wait, no! Because it doesn't.
Also, they made the Independence Day game, for the PlayStation that AVGN also reviewed, which is also garbage. So...
Wow. Yeah.
They made the video game adaptation of James Cameron's Dark Angel.
Never heard of that.
Oh, you haven't heard of it?
In the movie.
It was a TV show starring Jessica Alba, created by James Cameron. I remember it being enjoyable, but it's been literally like 20 years at this point since I've seen it. I'll have to look back into it and see how it is. Mm-hmm. Oh, and they also made Monsters Inc. Screamarine, if I remember correctly. One of you guys, Jova, I think you're a fan of this one. Guys! They made The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course they did.
And they also made Crash Tag Team Racing, like Jova said.
Yeah.
And they were a support team for Destiny.
That's the thing, Pedro. Okay, that requires a bit of history when it comes to Radical. But first, Jova, go on. I'll fill in the gaps later.
Long story short, pretty much everyone at Activision was pulled into work on Destiny. But yeah, best for this game, it's just... Whoo! There are some pieces of crap here, but this is one of those intensified ones that just... No, you could have done better. Try again.
It's like Radical's only standout product really is Ultimate Destruction. That's like the one game...
I'll fill in the gaps after Jova is done.
You mean are you talking about licensed games or games in general?
Radical Entertainment, specifically.
Yeah, but licensed? They're a licensed
product? Most of their games are licensed games from what I'm seeing here.
I'll fill in the gaps after Jova is done.
Go ahead, Jova.
I'm done.
Okay, as for me, first, that's the problem, Pedro. During their last years of major development, Radical decided to put their skills to the test by creating a game that encompassed everything that they did, to also, by order of Activision, to rival what what Sucker Punch was doing with Infamous, and they created Prototype, which is as age in terms of performance and how it looks, but it's still relatively fun how to play it. Then Activision decided, for some reason, to fuck everything up when they made Prototype 2 by making the protagonist of the first game an outright dickhead villain, meaning that the game basically was horribly received back then. People didn't like it at all, meaning that Activision essentially dismantled the company to their very bone. It's not like the team doesn't exist anymore, but it has been reduced to like a couple of people, and as such they were put to development or to support development of Destiny, and ever since they have done nothing more. So technically speaking, the team still exists, but it might as well not be. It's a vegetal at this point. But as for this game, it's awful. The controls are awful. The detection of the platforms are awful. The enemy placement is awful. The music is ear-raping. The car controls makes me literally sick. And again, that should not be a feature. I'm sorry. This is just... Again, who asked for this?
Teo, you don't have to apologize. Does this game even have fans?
No, but that's the thing. Again, who asked for this? One thing will say, it was done way after the movie was released. And again, way after the NES had passed its prime. Like, unless this was something... If it was something like, say, what Tectoy did to appease the Brazilian market, similar to what they do for the Master System, I could see where they were coming from. But this is just no. This doesn't work at all.
That's the thing, too. My guess is because remember the NES was cheaper to make games for. Maybe that was the idea.
Probably, maybe, I guess, and still, and again, this despite LGN not even touching this thing. This is kind of an accomplishment. Thankfully, Radical Entertainment worked better, with some future titles, but it still doesn't change the fact that this one is just awful and pretty much done. Next.
This game is literally the equivalent of someone puking on top of me. Like it's just like it's literally it assaults every one of your senses. It assaults your eyes. It assaults your ears, especially. It assaults your every instinct you would have as a video game player. It's just everything. Nothing about this game works. Nothing. The gameplay doesn't work. The music is. I hesitate to even call this music. This is a bunch of notes displayed at random, it literally is one of the. I mean, there's plenty of bad licensed games on the NES, but this is definitely one of the worst ones for me. Just because it just looks terrible. Even the Dick Tracy game, at the very least, looks nice enough. This they couldn't even bother to, at the very least, make the game look somewhat appealing to the freaking eyes. It really is a terrible game, and yeah, like I've said, no, I'm not going to apologize for anyone because I don't think anyone is really. There's not a single person out there that's actually trying to defend this game. I mean, does this game even have fans? Most people didn't even bother playing it. Probably, most people play the Super Nintendo game instead. Which we'll do eventually, because that game also has its own unique quirks. Let's just put it that way.
Better or worse than this game, do you think?
No, better. First of all, it actually looks like it was made by people.
What does this look like? It was made by.
This doesn't feel like it was made. This feels like it was
probably auto-generated by an AI with the capacity of Google Translate.
Remember, Jova, like I said, the only credits in this game are 4 producers and 1 executive producer. So, as far as I can tell, nobody actually made this game.
So it just came into existence.
Seriously, I mean, it says developed by Radical Entertainment. Okay. Who specifically, or are they honestly going to tell me that every single person at Radical Entertainment asked for their names to be removed from the game? Not that I blame them.
Honestly, this is one case where I could definitely figure everybody saw the storm coming. No Terminator pun intended, and decided, yeah, let's not. Because seriously though, this is the kind of work that you expect nothing but shame from.
Yes. Yeah, the Terminator NES game is absolute travesty. However, there's one more NES Terminator game. We already did the Super Nintendo game, which is the same as the Mega Drive game, so there's no point in doing that either. There was, however, as AVGN put it in his Terminator reviews, LJN was the one holding the rights for all video games of Terminator 2 at the time, except for the arcade, the original arcade game.
Was that Sega?
No, the arcade game was published by Data East, if I remember correctly. However, LJN was in charge of porting the arcade game to the consoles. So, but I'm not doing the arcade game because the only way you can probably play that game is in the arcade with a gun, and I have no access to that.
That's a light gun game.
Yeah. So I have no way of properly playing the proper arcade game. Maybe one day I'll get to one of the ports on the Super Nintendo or Mega Drive, but it's eventually, not for now. I want to focus more on the platformers. The point is, everybody, next time we're going to be doing LJN's Terminator 2 Judgment, and this one, from what I can tell, actually came out on time with the movie. So yeah, and you know what's interesting? I do not know who developed that game. Was it Sunsoft?
Supposedly.
Okay, so tune in next time. Let's see if Sunsoft does any better. Probably not, because LGN is there screwing things up, but we'll see.
How bad could it be?
It's LGN, Jova. You know the answer to that question.
Play the JoJo to be continued theme.
See ya, everybody.
See ya.